Hi, my name's Jake Vossenkemper, agronomy lead with Liqui-Grow. So today we're down in southeast Iowa, and if you live in southeast Iowa, you know that we've had a relatively wet end of May. And now that it's finally dried out, there's a scurry of activity to maybe get a few cornfields planted or replanted, unfortunately, and finish up planting soybeans. And this brings me to what I want to discuss today. So, unfortunately, sometimes when we push it a little bit to get things finished up, we end up planting in conditions that are just a little bit too wet. And this is one of the consequences here of planting when it's too wet. This soil here tends to have a little higher clay content. You can see here that we got quite a bit of clay in this soil. It's pretty heavy. And when you plant into these clay soils like this, these silty clay loams or clay loams, they're pretty expansive, right? So the other day when this was planted, the closing wheels were actually closing this furrow here. But as this soil has dried out, that clay contracts and it opens the furrow back up. And you can even see seeds down in here, okay? So what happens is now that those seeds are exposed, we have some seeds that, if you go down here several feet, you have some seeds that are covered up just fine. And they're going to imbibe water normally and they're going to emerge just fine. But some of these seeds over here that are exposed to the open air, they're not going to imbibe water very well at all. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a really uneven, non-uniform stand, and that's going to lead to yield reductions. There's other consequences here. So now these seeds are also going to be directly exposed to pre-emergent herbicides, and that's not good. That can kill the seeds on its own right. The last thing is, if you were to apply over-the-top weed and feed fertilizer or all fertilizer in this situation, now that seed's also going to be exposed to that fertilizer, which could further delay emergence and potentially even kill the seed. Now if you walk over here, we planted these plots over here just a few days later, well, a day later, 24 hours later to be exact. We gave the soil a little bit more time to dry, and you can see here that all these furrows are closed. So the message here is today, we want to get things finished up, no question, but you got to be careful. If you plant when things are just a little bit too wet, you can have some issues with the furrow not closing like that, particularly in these heavier clay soils. So if you think it's too wet, it probably is. You're probably better off to just wait one more day. Thanks.